And what is time boxing then? Time boxing is actually a kind of fixed duration event. So that's, again, very, very critical. Time boxing in Agile is like the mantra. That's the reason why you have so much of success with Agile products, Agile projects, as opposed to the waterfall. Because in waterfall, your time box is actually like 2 years, as I was giving you an example of my project about good 15 years ago. So we had this requirements. I spent about a good 5 months writing on the requirements, functional requirement specification document, getting sign off. And the development did not start till about the 8th month of the project start, which was a really, really difficult thing to even imagine within Agile. So with Agile, what is happening is you're actually getting the development started pretty much in the first few weeks of the project start. So it's quite opposed to what you have in the waterfall, where the project would not start, the real work would not start much till about the first few weeks and months. And then the customer could actually get to see their project. In the case of my project, I was giving example of the candidate assessment. That project, the first delivery went out after 14 months of the project start. So the customer could not even get to see how the first page looks like and what kind of thing. They're only looking at the documents, reading through the 500, 600 page requirements document, functional requirement specification, again, 300 page architecture document, and a 200 page high level design document, and perhaps another 10, 15 different documents of low level design document, data model, looking at the diagrams. But it actually took them 14 months to actually get to see the first developed page of the product. And you know what? By that time, they said, this is not working because it's not what we wanted, what we needed. So instead of that, if we adopt the same approach, we actually go with the Agile way, then you're able to deliver that not in 14 months, but perhaps in the next 3 weeks or a month. You can actually deliver at least one page, if not the whole product, right? So that's why we're actually kind of time boxed this, the example that we're working on, right? The mobile accessories website, e-commerce website to sell the mobile accessories, your screen protectors. What we are doing now is to actually time box. Instead of saying that, I'll give it in 2022, what we'll do is we'll say by November, I'll have the catalog ready. By February, I'll have the shopping cart ready. By April, I'll get you you can actually pay online. The customers can pay online through their credit card, but by June, they can also pay using their MasterCard. Their PayPal integration is done, and they can actually send their checks as well, right? So you're trying to add more and more features and functionality to make it easy for your customers. And that is not done all in one go, but actually kind of time boxed. Say this November, February, you can actually get to see that it's all done in a way that is, the releases are phased out. And within the context of it, you can't just say that I will work till the end of the release and then deliver it. So what we do is we'll actually have the development team kind of work even smaller time boxes. So typically in Scrum, what we call as a sprint is basically a time box. So a sprint is for, let's say, 3 weeks on an average. Within 3 weeks, the first 3 weeks, let's say that item details page is done, right? So they will work on this. They come up with the item details page. You've got the item photo, item title, description, blah, blah, blah. You can actually get to see the screen protector, and perhaps even the same way you can have another item page for the case, mobile case, for example. So you can actually get to see the 360-degree view of that. So what we're talking about is, going these sprints. So by the end of 2 or 3 sprints, you can have item details page, you can have items list page, the catalog page. And by the end of 3rd sprint, you actually can have the whole of the integration, all these pages integrated, working well. When you click on the list, when you click on one particular row, it would then open a details page of that item, the screen protector, and showing the photo and 360-degree view and the details description, everything else. So that is actually the success of a time box. So it's not done all at once, but you're actually doing in small little, kind of small little milestones. At the end of these small little milestones, you're actually delivering something. So by the end of November, let's say you completed, let's say 2 or 3 sprints, you actually have got the release ready, and that is potentially delivered to the customers. So important to note is this is what we call as a sprint time box, is basically 2 to 4 weeks. I mean, I did work on projects which was as less as 1 week for one sprint to as big as 3 weeks for one sprint. So it really depends. There's no hard and fast rule. Scrum says that between 2 weeks to 4 weeks is a good ideal time for one sprint. So your time box in Scrum is basically between 2 to 4 weeks. So you need to understand this, very important. If there is anything that is not done, so for example, in a sprint, the sprint backlog says that about 6 stories, 6 items within that, out of which there are 5 stories and 1 is a defect that need to be fixed. So that's what we need to actually do it in the next sprint, let's say, and it starts Monday. And by the end of 2 weeks, which is by the end of the sprint, come November 1st week, we could only complete 4 stories out of the 5, and we did fix the defect, so that's done. But the 5th story that is not done is actually not carried forward to the next sprint, which is what most of the popular perception is. It's actually kind of, again, goes back into the product backlog because it was not done, it was not completed, it was not delivered. Very, very important. And then the product owner and also the business team would actually kind of take a stock at that and see if it is important, if it's really that important and that urgent to be then pushed into the next sprint, or they might think that, you know what, let's not,